Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It's time for August's watch pile. Lots of movies in, lots of movies watched. Has it went down? Has it grew? Let's find out together. So I've got a bunch of movies that I picked up this month. Let's start going through some of them. First up, we have a whole bunch of Radiance titles. We have Tokajiro, which was a fantastic Yakuza story, kind of melodrama with some fantastic action, which just came through. We have A Man on His Knees by Damiano Damiani, whose stuff I was allergic to thanks to Radiance. I've not got to this one yet. Looking forward to it though. Next up, I have The Italian Collection from Rero, which was utterly fantastic. I loved this film. There is a moment where it just goes into a chase sequence, which is just awesome. Great characters. We kind of start off with Henry Silva and his friend, who are American hitmen, and it moves into a kind of other main character who I really loved. Terrific movie. We also have Seijun Suzuki's first entry into Radiance, which was Tattooed Life, which is out soon. We've got a screener of that one, and it's really great. Reviews just up for that. Viva la Muerte, which I for some reason can't think about without thinking of Elvis's Viva Las Vegas. Pops in my head whenever I talk about this one. This was a really kind of different movie. I enjoyed it a lot. The reviews up there, a little bit weird, but I like weird. And then finally, we have the World Noir Volume 2 set, which I've still got the final review to post from this one. They're all sorted, ready to go. Another great set. I think I preferred set 1, although Symphony for the Massacre was outstanding. That's the review that's still to come from this set. Next up, we have a release from Shameless, which was Who Saw Her Die, which is continuing the shameless streak of just cracking films. Aldo Lado's terrific giallo set in Venice, precursor to Don't Look Now. Phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, pick it up. Hell Trap, another Vinegar Syndrome movie. This was boring as hell, uninteresting. Review to come for this one. Let's just say it's a pass. Miss out. Who doesn't like Killer Kids? Devil Times 5, 4K disc for Vinegar Syndrome. Reviews up for this one as well. Had a hell of a lot of fun with this one. It's just weird. You don't get reasons. It's just fun. Next up, we have Bloodbath in the House of Death, which I didn't like. I'd seen it before. This is going on eBay today, if I have time. My friend Andy sent me a couple of movies. One I was kind of interested in getting was Spirits of the Air, Gremlins of the Clouds, which is a weird title. But I'll kind of give it a shot, see what it's like. And one which fills me with dread. Andy, who sent it to me, pretty much just said he wanted to get it out of his collection because it was such a stain on it, which that's a ringing endorsement if ever there was one. And that is Kinski's Paganini. I will wait to a particularly masochistic moment before I throw that one on to check it out. Next, we have a couple of Rero titles. Radiance were doing a sale of some sorts, and there was a couple there that were just $9.99 I wanted to pick up. I got Murder Obsession, which I've reviewed just now, which I really liked. That was quite atmospheric. And one that the review's just to come is Gang War in Milan, which I loved. Great Policio techie and well worth checking out. A friend of mine, Paige, sent me this awesome edition of Jaws 3. Steelbook, art cards, 3D glasses. Yeah, I mean, I love all things Jaws. Point Break, I love this film. I gave it a rave review because it was something I just loved going back to. It's just so kind of cheesy and fun at the same time. And you get caught up in all the shenanigans that are going on. And Santa Sangra from Severin, released in the UK. Phenomenal edition. Fantastic film. If you haven't picked that up, Santa Sangra is worth it. It's tremendous. So wonderful. Next is You're Next from Second Sight Films. I love this home invasion film. It was terrific to revisit again. I've seen it so many times. I can pretty much reiterate it. word for word, and it was phenomenal. The 4K was terrific. The extras were wonderful, terrific. A standout release this month, one that I loved going through, and you'll see that when we get to Letterboxd, was Laurel and Hardy, The Silent Years to 1927. So much fun, so quick and easy watches, great commentaries and everything, and just fantastic. I loved it. And then we have some Deaf Crocodile titles. We have the time-bending mysteries of Shahram Mokri, which I haven't delved into as yet, but I've heard good things. Their new fancy editions, hardback boxes with books. This is The Savage Hunt of King Stach, which is a kind of folk horror, gothic horror mix. Wonderfully atmospheric. This was although the story kind of lost me in places, it was the atmosphere that kept me hooked to that one. Absolutely wonderful. A recent movie that they have released is In the Moscow Slums, which is a strange mix of it's Sherlock Holmes story, The Sign of Four, but they take two real life characters from the early 20th century and replace them from Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Strange, but it works. A little bit overlong, some great production design, and a kind of interesting story, mostly. And the last one from Deaf Crocodile was Adele Has Not Had Supper Yet, from the makers of the mysterious castle in the Carpathians. Title always trips me up. This was wonderful. Steampunk kind of early 20th century detective mixed with Little Shop of Horrors. Bonkers in all the right ways and a hell of a lot of fun. That's everything I picked up this month. So now we're going to move into Letterboxd and see what I actually watched this month. So let's see. Started off with Santa Sangra. A great start to the month. Terrific film. Enjoyed rewatching it. 5 stars. Easy. Chow Pantin from Radiance, their last month's release. This is one of those movies that's going to just slip under the radar and you really don't want to miss out on it. I utterly loved it. Working on with the Mr. Askis set, I watched Ninja Academy, which was and The Naked Truth, which was plus. Mississippi Mermaid was the Truffaut film from Radiance, which I enjoyed, but I had some issues with. Point Break, I mean, it's not a great movie, but I love it. Let's give it a little heart. There we go. Invasion USA from Vinegar Syndrome was Chuck Norris fun times. He leaves his charisma out of proceedings, which is a bit of a shame, but other than that, great action, lots of fun. Reptilicus, giant beast monster kaiju thing, fun, forgettable. Inside Out 2, I took my kids to the cinema. I enjoyed this immensely. Much more than I did with some of the other things I've been dragged to see, like Despicable Me 4, which was awful. I enjoyed Inside Out 2. Killer Nun from Shameless was another great film. The review of that's still to come, but I really enjoyed the mood, the mystery, the setup, the idea behind everything. Just so great. Finally got round to watching Thanksgiving and enjoyed it a lot. For Vinegar Syndrome, the Chinese torture chamber story was an absolute blast. I loved that one. It's so much fun. It's so silly. It was really not what I was expecting, and I've still got part 2 to watch. Jack's Back was an online watch as part of the Discord. We do a kind of watch along. Jack's Back was one I hadn't seen in a long while. I enjoy going back to it. I feel the first half's really strong, and the full film for that is available if you look on YouTube. Navy SEALs was another blast from the past on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. It is what it is, but what it is a lot of fun. It's a rah-rah fields. Let's go and fight the bad guys and blow shit up, and that's what it does. I had fun with that one as well. Red Rock West is Nicolas Cage's neo-noir with Dennis Hopper, Lara Flynn Boyle, J.D. Walsh. It's a terrific little pot boiler. I love that one a lot. Murder Obsession, I said I picked it up. Ghost Chase was another Discord watch along. Managed to find that full online. I hadn't seen it since the 80s. I had some issues with it, but it was a kind of enjoyable watch. They Call Me Macho Woman from the Vinegar Syndrome archive was surprisingly fun, completely silly, overlit, had a kind of televisual look about it, but my goodness, I just enjoyed that one. Found footage movie, The Tunnel from Umbrella, was not one of the best found footage movies. I had some serious issues with it, and I'll get more discussions with that with the full review. Gang War in Milan, as I said, was fantastic. The Nurse, or The Sensuous Nurse from not Vinegar Syndrome, from Shameless. Tonally all over the place. I kind of liked it, and it was kind of annoying at the same time. More to say in that one. Dirty Deeds was one that I just fancied watching again. Don't ask me why. I enjoyed it again. Bubble Bath from Death Crocodile was weird, crazy, psychedelic animated movie. Again, full review coming. You're Next. Love it. Nothing but the best. It was a really kind of interesting film, precursor to almost American Psycho. I like that one a lot. The Abyss, I watched on 4K. I watched the extended edition. It was long. I think I may go back and watch a shorter version. I don't know if I was just not in the mood for it or that. I just didn't connect with me at all. Devil's Time 5, the 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, was really great as well. I watched a lot of movies this month, so we're into 2 pages of this. A lot of that will be explained with the Laurel and Hardy shorts. Bloodbath at the House of Death. Yeah, I really I want to like that. I like the talent involved. I like the idea of the story. It just does not come together, and the humor is so flat. Yeah, it just didn't work. I finally finished The Inspector Wears Skirts 4th entry, and it was actually enjoyable, especially after the third one, which was probably the poorest of the lot. I enjoyed 4 more than I probably should have. Cruel Gun Story was from World Noir 2. It was pretty great. Tokujiro, I've already talked about. Tattoo Life was Seijun Suzuki's. That was really interesting. Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus was one of those movies that frustrated me because it's 105 minutes, and for the first 90 minutes, it's excellent. Great world building on this mining planet. Great idea of a story. Puts them into a kind of haunted house feeling in this one. Great alien action. The face hugger sequence is wonderful. Last 20 minutes, load of nonsense, and really took me out of the movie and just almost ruined it for me. Up to then, fantastic, and I would be excited for a sequel of this one. Hey, take them to that mining planet, let the aliens run riot. I want to see that kind of movie. With Love and Hisses is where we start the Laurel and Hardy. I won't go into them individually. They were all interesting, so I watched them, and then I watched them again with the commentary. So we'll see them appear multiple times. Viva la Muerte was Radiance, and then we have Laurel and Hardy, Who Saw Her Die was a great Shameless release I've talked about. Duck Soup, and then Black Gravel from the World Noir Volume 2, which was really good. And then we've got more Laurel and Hardy. And The Shadow of Kilimanjaro was another Discord watch-along. This was one that I had seen advertised a hell of a lot in the video shop days in the late 80s, and I don't remember seeing it. Way better than I thought. The baboon action was tremendously shot. I don't know how they achieved some of the things they did. This needs a great release. I'm looking for somebody to release a fantastic Blu-ray of this. I would pick it up in a heartbeat. Got Laurel and Hardy. Star Wars. I've kind of moved away from Star Wars a lot over the years, and it's not really something I've revisited. My friend loves them, and they are all back in the cinema. So we are going once a week to see the Star Wars movies. And I'm kind of poking fun at them in reviews, which I don't often do reviews. So yeah, if you want to see me having or trying to be somewhat funny, they're on the Star Wars reviews. Lucky Dog, all bunches here of Laurel and Hardy stuff. I'll just zoom by. Longlegs, I finally got to watch, and similarly to Alien Romulus, loved it. The great atmosphere, great framing, the way they always have open doorways or exits in the sequence just builds this tension. Nicolas Cage is great. There is an eerie mood to it. The fact that it's got devoid of score just leaves this stillness that just gets under the skin. Last 15 minutes was soul sucking as they turn it into something that it shouldn't be and kind of take everything away from the film. This almost, like, it dropped at a good star for me. This was being a great movie and dropped it to just fine into something that I probably wouldn't revisit simply because of the ending. The Italian Connection I talked about was great. Hell's Trap was not great at all. Another Discord watch was Freaked, which I hadn't seen the longest while, and it's so 90s, it's so cult, it's so silly. It's like, who's this made for? I appreciated checking out again, but man, that was just, it was weird. Yeah, enough said about that. And then I watched Adele Has Not Had Supper Yet, which was the Little Shop of Horrors steampunk detective story, which I absolutely loved. A lot of things checked out this month, and I'm kind of happy with it. So I started off August with a watch pile of 252 movies to get through. I added 28 films to the mix, which was a lot. Just counting Laurel Hardy as one because it just makes it easier, even though there was 15 shorts on that, which I watched twice. I managed to watch 38 discs this month, so I brought it down to 242, which was a great amount, and I'm hoping that September is kind of light again, and I can get through a whole bunch as well, although I know there's a huge release at the end of this month that's going to take up some time. So I'm happy. I took 10 off my watch pile, and I feel as if I've kind of started this month strong again, and I'm going to keep that ball rolling. So let's move into the Blu-rays that are released this month and see what, if anything, I'm interested, what I'm going to pick up, what jumps out at me. There's some things that jump out that I'm just not going to get. On Sunday, I would love to get, but it's another one I'm in no rush to jump out and pick up at the moment. We have got a lot of 88 films releases this month, and I'm kind of taking a step back from them at the moment. I'll pick them up further down the line in sales, or maybe when I've got the watch pile down and a little bit under control, because I've got a lot of their Shaw Brothers stuff still to review at some point, so I'm not going to add to that until I get through them. But we've got American Pie 4K, which I don't want to get. I'm going to end up picking up at some point, and I'm going to hate buy it. Curse of the Crimson Altar, To Kill a Mastermind, The Shadow Boxing, The Golden Lotus, Tai Chi Master, all 88 films that I would be interested in. I will get further down the line. We have standard releases of Touch of Evil 4K and Pandora's Box. If you didn't get the limited edition, pick them up. They are terrific films. Then we have We Still Kill the Old Way, which is something I'm quite interested in. I'll probably get that. Tattooed Life, I reviewed way too early. Get my release dates mixed up, so I've got that to come. The Champions, I want to get, and Two Taoist Tales. I definitely want to get. Those things are always mental, and I love the craziness that they bring, so I'll be interested in that. Man in His Knees, I have and still need to go through. Death Game, I want to get. I know Eli Roth remade this as Knock Knock, and I hated that film with a passion. So I'm hoping that Death Game lives up to its reputation, because I will get that one. Hopefully it'll be really good. We've got a bunch of standard releases coming from Radiance as well. Night of the Devils, Bounty Hunter Trilogy, the Peter Shilskin set, the Cosa Nostra set, the World Noir Volume 1 set are all coming out standard releases. All great. Everything is at the end of the month. This is where all the problems come. Great problems to have. The Hitcher, I love these sets from Second Sight Films, and it takes a bit of time to go through everything that's involved in it, and I go through everything. It's always a joy, and that's going to take up some time. But what's going to take up the hugest amount of time is the Louis Fuliad set, which is hours of content that's going to take me a while to go through, but I am super looking forward to that. So I'm bearing in mind that these are going to be releases that take up a lot of time just to get through. So I'm probably just going to get the Hitcher, Louis Foulade, the Two Taoist Priest Death Game, the Champions, We Still Kill the Old Way. And do you know what? I think that's more than enough for this month. Maybe let me get through this set. Of course, I'll still get my Vinegar Syndrome package and whatever else comes with that. But yeah, that's my August in a nutshell. I feel like I did some good control there. Getting 10 movies off the watch pile in total with the ones I had added. There was a day where I was doing so well. I was down to like 230 or something, and then just got like a huge delivery of stuff that just completely blew me out of the water, constantly chasing my tail. But it's a kind of fun endeavour. I'll be looking to bring that down now. I would love to get to the end of the year and get this under 200, which I haven't been this year at all. Lots of watching, lots of reviewing, lots of things to come. But I'd love to know if there's anything in September that you're going to pick up, anything that jumps out to you that you want to get a hold of, any movies that I've watched that you think were, yeah, you've got some thoughts on. You want to drop a little comment, drop me in the comment box below. I'll keep you posted on what I'm watching. If you keep a hold of my letterbox, you'll see my attempts at being funny as I try and review Star Wars movies with my tongue in cheek, because I just think that's a fun way to look at them. And I'll see you next month. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box, I'll link to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always make sure you can support me. Almost forgot the .com. And that's where you can join the Discord if you join the membership or the Patreon. And you can join along these watch-alongs, which were really fun. We watched Killdozer last night, and that was an absolute blast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.